to be access to finance, insurance, and the small-scale fishermen and the small farmers are at the highest risk. But in Nigeria, for instance, the government, through the instruments of the Bank of Agriculture and NISAL, were able to come up with a blend of financial instruments with affordable insurance and so many beautiful financial products for the farmers to have access to credit, because without credit, without support, they cannot make much headway. Then the issue of access to land titles and waterways for the fishermen and the farmers. Through digitization and tokenization, our farmers can have access to land titles that will make them eligible to access support from financial institutions. And of course, producer organizations that will make them possible to form cooperatives for the purpose of aggregation, to lowering costs, and for them to serve as support of a family organization to pursue their interests across the board. And most importantly, for us in Africa, especially in the light of global trends, intra-African trade has almost become a necessity. There has to be some alignments. Now, within Africa, we are trading only 10.7%. Europe is 70%.
Wow.
Intra-Asian trade is going for 60%. So we have to make efforts under the canopy of the African free trade area to see that we really try to get our things in-house. Beyond the climate shocks, the global supply disruptions is there.
Yeah, big time.
So I don't want to dwell much on that, but honestly, we have to look inwards and see to it that as Africa.
All right, the Vice President Kashim Shettima there on the global stage, speaking about some of the initiatives and the progress the agriculture sector is undergoing. But we do have some practitioners within the sector right now to give us the reality of what is happening in that sector here in Nigeria. Joining us virtually, we have the Secretary General of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Femi Oke. He joins us virtually. And in the studio, and yes, this is the name, Africanfarmer Mogaji. He joins us live in the studio, turnaround agriculture consultant. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I'll begin with you. We heard the Vice President's name laudable initiatives that the government is taking to support the agriculture sector. Which so far do you consider most impactful and revolutionary within the sector?
Well, I think the turnaround mindset that the Ministry of Agriculture has is actually paying off, and most importantly, access to stakeholders. We generally used to not have access, to the ministers, ministries, but right now there's more access to the minister than ever before, and that's helping stakeholders to be able to engage. We have a minister now that would actually reach out to you once they identify that you have a value to add. So that in itself is helping more than the digitalization and every other thing that's happening, but that direct access. And in my private sector mindset, that they gradually is filtering through the ministry is helping out, and I hope it will be sustainable.
Okay, let me come to you now, Tumba Femi Oke. He speaks about access. Can you attest to that? Do you agree that that's what's happening within the sector? And in addition to that, there's a current, should I say, debacle or crisis going on, or that should be prevented. Farmers are having difficulty recouping their funds. They have taken loans. They have invested, and now because food prices are going down, they are finding it difficult to pay back some of those loans. Give us a true picture of what is happening there.
Well, thank you, my dear sister and the viewers at home. Firstly, let me applaud the incoming government that during their inceptions, it was the only Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that was able to bringing the farmers across the board, and it was held in Mina at that time, to tell us what our inputs will be for the contributions to Nigerian government. And we are not surprised seeing what is really happening now, that as to what my brother have said about the Honorable Minister and the Minister of Agri having access to we farmers. And if the president could do that at the initial stage, then we are not doubting about we are not doubting about the government.
All right, so we'll come back to you, Otumba, on that, right? So you agree you're lauding the current administration, but there is a concern that is rising now that needs to be addressed. I will get into that in just a moment here on the show. Do stay with us. You're still watching Business Edge. Millions of smallholder farmers are warding off falling into a crisis in terms of debt crisis, and we do have players within the sector who hope to give us more perspective. Thank you for staying with us, Otumba. Otumba, okay, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Let's now come to the issue at hand, which is the reports from lenders that farmers are struggling to pay back loans that they have taken, and that being as a result of the falling food crisis. Can you attest to that? Is that what's happening within the sector at the moment?
Not really. I may not attest to that, to agree that is the loan we've taken from the banks are now result of the prices, the falling of the food prices. Firstly, let me attribute to the federal allocation budget that was increased for the first time in the history of Nigeria, that could rise up to 5% to agriculture. And the government is now taking cognizance, is taking most possessions in the area of agri. So that one might even result to the falling price of the food. And I believe the budget came in at the right time, when farmers have already gone to the commercial banks to obtain loan for the food or for their farm, and attributed to that might have causes. And it's when we have gluts in the market, definitely we are going to have falling food prices. So it might have been one of the things, and aligned with the federal government and the World Bank coming into our aid on the area of reviving, rehabilitating most of the bad roads, which has been a bottleneck to we farmers, bringing things out from the market. It's another thing that I've done that. Thirdly, I can talk about the PMS. If you could see recently now, the price of commodity of PMS just fall down. I think it has gone to around now from 900 naira to now 739, 730 some places. And all these ones amounted to the price of food to have come down. And to finalize it, the loans that was being given out as at that time, we are not even sure that it was given to the farmers, to the rightful farmers. Because most of our farmers, I don't think very many of them are in indebtedness, because they are not crying for them to pay. The loan was given to non-farmers and non-recognized people in the agri sector. That is what we are experiencing, not like now that the government is now taking more attention into the associations, and that is what we still want the government to put their hands on, that if a loan could be given out into the bank, it has to be through the umbrella body of the farmers associations, which is all farmers, because we know each ourselves, we know each other, and we guarantee ourselves. Okay. So definitely with this, all this could have attributed to the falling prices of the commodities in the market.
All right, thank you very much, Femi Oke. I'm coming now to you, Africanfarmer Mogaji. Do you also see this happening? Of course, there have been concerns, right? These reports came in. Creditors had those concerns. Yes, food prices are coming down. It's a good thing. It's a welcome development. But loans are not being repaid. And we know for quite a while, even the banks have struggled to give credit to that sector. So is this an issue of concern? How can this be addressed?
So first thing first, we have to look back to why are some farmers defaulting. It starts with the banks itself, the institutions. I've been a player for over 3 decades, producing, okay? And I work with a lot of farmers across the country. The first thing first is that almost all the banks, about 90% plus of them, don't have staffs that have practical knowledge of the field. You know, because we can talk you can, pick things, go investigate. This is News Central. They don't have qualified, they have graduates, but many of them don't have people who have been in the field that are brought to the table. So wrong assumptions is one of the reasons why they gave out bad loans. I did not produce last year because I knew by virtue of experience that when the prices move to record high, any responsible government will do anything to drop the prices. So it has happened. Check the history since 1999. About 3 times we have to import. Okay, so the banks were not aware, the lenders were not aware of this trajectory. So they gave out loans at the wrong time, and they gave the loans to the wrong sectors. What do I mean by that? So we know that if the prices go up and government opens the border, then prices will come down. Then the rate at which they even gave the loans is some of the issues to talk about. And most of the farmers also, some of these things they do not know. So when we talk about defaults, when I understand that the government brought in just 1% of Nigeria's annual consumption in some of the grains. And within 2 weeks of those like corn and coal docking at the port, the prices dropped by 50%, meaning many of these grains were hoarded in the country. So hoarding, so people threw the produce back into the market, and it began to crash and crash and crash. And also, bottom line is with the dollar, the prices of input also went up.
Right.
So we have that challenge. So the funders don't understand the timing. They don't engage. They don't upgrade.
Right.
So they also give most of the funds at the wrong time to the farmers.
Right.
Timing has always been an issue. So it's a cocktail of challenges. Yeah. Now, Nigeria should not have an issue with prices falling.
Right.
The subnationals, apart from Lagos that is developing a lot of infrastructure, I challenge every state governor who will show the silos they've built since this administration began to give them more money. They know they plant grains. Why didn't they get more silos to store what their farmers were producing? So we talk about federal. But state is responsible for every state's food security. Yeah. Federal is responsible for the whole. So the state governors are the reason, and the local governments are the reason why prices are falling and farmers have challenges repaying. In good communities, they buy back and store in silos because very soon the prices will skyrocket again.
So I mean, that was my final question to you. And I think perhaps summarily, in a minute, solutions. So this doesn't happen again. And there are concerns that with what's happening now, food production may not be where it should be this year.
So we need to promote more. We need to leverage and partner with media institutions like yours so that we tell people about the opportunities and challenges. I'm just coming directly from Mile 12. A basket of tomatoes right now is 15,000. Last week, it was 4,000. In another 4 months, it's going to be 100,000 plus, and it's wasting now. So, when we look at these things, this is a 22-year issue, up 22, 26-year challenge. We keep repeating cycles. We don't have the right advisors advising most of the policymakers. We have square pegs in square holes. If we start by getting square pegs in square holes, we will get quality information, right assumptions, and Nigeria will be food
so it's all about consultation on the players or with the players in that sector. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent, but it's been an insightful conversation. Thank you, Osunba Femi Oke, Secretary General, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, for your time, and Africanfarmer Mogaji, turnaround agribusiness consultant. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.